Mental health and wellness. What is mental health? What is mental health? There are many definitions of what mental health is. We use the World Health Organization, or WHO's, description of mental health as a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. You can see from this definition that good mental health has three basic elements: good brain functioning, so we can do things we need to do, having a sense of well-being, of feeling good, and absence of mental illness. Why is mental health important? We all understand that our brains are important since they control our actions and emotions. Our brain is where we live our internal life and the center of what controls our interaction with others. The WHO describes mental health as an integral component of health and well-being that underpins our individual and collective abilities to make decisions, build relationships, and shape the world we live in. Mental health is a basic human right, and it is crucial to personal, community, and socioeconomic development. Or put another way, mental health is the basis for everything we do to support and better our lives, the lives of those around us, and the world. For example, poor mental health can lead to negative situations in our lives. These may include increased frequency of communicable and non-communicable diseases, and worse outcomes from these illnesses: shorter lifespans, poverty, increased exposure to violence, worse child development and educational outcomes, and worse maternal health. There is no health or well-being without mental health. How to maintain good mental health? Good mental health throughout our lives does not just happen on its own, particularly for people who experience a lot of stress, loss, or traumatic events in their lives. Stress refers to things in the environment that are threatening to us in some way. Perhaps it's living in an unsafe area, or losing a job and trying to find one, or having too many responsibilities and not enough time and resources to deal with them. Anything that threatens our physical, financial, or social well-being can cause worry and stress. Losses can similarly be a loss of a job, but also loss of a loved one or perhaps disability, meaning that the loss of ability to do the things you need to do or that you enjoy. Any significant losses can affect our ability to cope with the world and therefore our mental health. Finally, trauma. Something we experienced or perhaps observed that makes us feel unsafe can affect our mental health. Trauma often consists of physical or verbal violence, but can be any severe event that causes a person to doubt their own safety. There are a variety of approaches to dealing with stress, loss, or trauma. The first is to change those things in our environment that contribute to any of these. Thinking back to the examples of stress mentioned before, examples would be moving away from an unsafe area, finding a new job, or changing the conditions of an existing job, or shedding some responsibilities. Dealing with loss could include entering into new relationships. Managing trauma could mean removing yourself from the surroundings that remind you of previous traumas. Changing our environment is an important first consideration, but often this is not possible or only partially possible. Therefore, a second method for dealing with life's challenges is knowledge. The more we know about how the brain works, the better we are able to protect it. Just the information in this course can help you maintain your own mental health. There are so many misperceptions that cause stigma and discrimination and prevent people from making progress. We will talk about some of these later, but for now, let's mention the concepts of the growth mindset. This is an idea that whoever you think you are can change. Just opening your mind to the idea of new possibilities. That if we feel depressed, feel worthless or unvalued, or other negative feelings, that we can change our brains to be more positive and more functional. Knowledge of how our brain works and how to keep it healthy is one way we can help maintain wellness. There are skills in which we teach our brains to move from more unhelpful ways to thinking in more helpful ways.
Hey there, I'm David. You may see me from time to time during this course giving examples and tips. So, in the case of the growth mindset, here's an example. I could think to myself something like, I'm not a very good brother or friend, which would make me feel perhaps sad or disappointed. Or, I could choose to change my thought to something more helpful, like, I try my best to be a good brother or friend, or I'm working on being a better brother or friend. This more helpful thought may lead to feeling content or hopeful. Maybe I'm still a little bit sad, but less so. Okay, we'll see you next time for more examples and tips.
Another way to maintain good mental health is through behaviors. Identifying behaviors that are harmful to mental health and substituting or increasing behaviors that are helpful. This is called behavioral activation and can be useful in everyone's everyday lives. An everyday example is recognizing when listening to news is depressing or distressing, particularly when news is frequently bad, and instead listening to music, an upbeat podcast, or anything enjoyable. It also helps to recognize when we are spending too much time alone and then making a point of being more social. There are many other skills that can be helpful in maintaining good mental health, such as relaxation skills, practicing gratefulness, problem solving, and getting good sleep, turning negative responses into positive coping. Collectively, we refer to these ways of promoting mental health, changing our environment, knowledge, thoughts, behavior, and other skills as psychosocial support. The great thing about psychosocial support efforts is that training on how to implement them is easy to provide and can be given in large in-person groups in everyday settings like schools, workplaces, or communities, and through digital and media outlets. They can be universal for general populations, selective for at-risk groups, or indicated for those showing early signs of mental illness. The knowledge, changes, and skills psychosocial support methods contain are easy to learn, but very powerful. Those efforts not only promote good mental health, but can help to prevent mental illness resulting from severe events and circumstances. In short, they make us resilient. Let's review what we've learned in this module. Mental health is a state of well-being that enables individuals to cope with stress, realize their abilities, learn, work, and contribute to their community. It encompasses good brain functioning, a sense of well-being, and the absence of mental illness. Mental health is crucial for decision-making, relationship building, and socioeconomic development. To maintain good mental health, it is important to change stressful environments when possible, gain knowledge about brain function, shift from negative to positive thinking, and practice skills like relaxation and problem solving. Psychosocial support, provided in schools, workplaces, and communities, can promote resilience and prevent mental illness. Continue on to the next module.